the huge areas of the world that have never been looked at by archaeology at all. Of course, the most important are the flooded continental shelves. Santha and I spent 7 years of our lives scuba diving all around the world. You're coming across statues underwater, you're coming across columns underwater. It's just magical, diving on an underwater city.
Beneath the waves of Egypt's Abu Qir Bay lies a mystery that has baffled archaeologists for decades. Lost cities, submerged beneath the sea, their secrets hidden in the depths.
You have to be careful when you look at underwater structures. You have to look at all the conditions that have led to their submergence.
How did the once thriving city of Menouthis vanish beneath the waves? Join us as we dive into this underwater mystery, exploring the theories behind its sudden disappearance and uncovering the treasures that lie hidden beneath the surface.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
The submerged city of Menouthis, nestled near Abu Qir Bay, close to Canopus and Alexandria, has emerged as a cornerstone of underwater archaeology, revealing the intricate cultural and religious tapestry of the Greco-Egyptian era. Discovered by Frank Gordillo and his team, this exploration shed light on the daily life and significance of Menouthis before it was engulfed by the Mediterranean. Frank Gordillo, a pioneer in underwater archaeology, led his team through methodical survey processes using state-of-the-art sonar and geomagnetic equipment. This technology was crucial in detecting anomalies that hinted at submerged structures and formed the backbone of their exploratory efforts. The initial phase of exploration involved detailed surveys using side-scan sonar and magnetometers, which provided the first glimpse of Menouthis beneath the silt.
The Nile carries a lot of silt with it, a lot of earth with it, as it flows out of Uganda and out of Ethiopia.
These surveys revealed the outlines of buried structures and were instrumental in mapping potential excavation sites. To further enhance their understanding of the underwater terrain and the depth of sediment layers, the team employed advanced remote sensing technologies, including multi-beam echo sounders and sub-bottom profilers. These tools helped create a three-dimensional map of the seabed, which was pivotal for planning the excavation process. However, the team faced significant challenges due to the dynamic conditions of the underwater environment near Abu Qir Bay. The heavy accumulation of silt, typical in the Nile Delta region, not only buried artifacts and structures but also reduced underwater visibility, complicating both excavation and documentation processes. The shifting currents and tides could expose or rebury artifacts between survey sessions, requiring the team to continuously monitor conditions and respond quickly to windows of opportunity. Additionally, the saline environment and the presence of silt presented major preservation challenges, necessitating immediate conservation efforts to prevent corrosion and biological growth on the artifacts once they were brought to the surface. To mitigate these challenges, the team employed divers specialized in underwater archaeology who used hydraulic suction tubes to delicately remove silt and uncover artifacts. This technique minimized damage to the delicate items. Documentation was another critical aspect of the excavation, with high-resolution photography and videography playing key roles. In many instances, 3D modeling techniques were utilized to capture the exact condition and position of structures and artifacts before they were disturbed. Once artifacts were recovered, they were immediately placed in specially designed conservation containers filled with a stabilizing solution to prevent further decay from exposure to air, ensuring the preservation of these invaluable historical items. Continuing the exploration of Menouthis, the archaeological discoveries have indeed provided a vivid picture of the city's architectural prowess, daily and ceremonial life, and even the geological reasons behind its submersion.
The submergence of those sites is largely because of subsidence of land rather than sea level rise, because it's relatively recent.
The structural remains unearthed in Menouthis point to its significant buildings, which were likely central to both the city's daily and communal activities. These buildings were constructed using large limestone blocks. The sophisticated engineering techniques needed to quarry, shape, and transport these massive blocks hint at the advanced architectural knowledge and structural integrity of that era. It's likely that levers, ramps, and possibly wooden rollers were used in their placement, techniques that mirror other Egyptian constructions from the same period. The range of ceramics discovered provides further insights into the lifestyle in Menouthis. From simple domestic wares to intricately designed ceremonial pieces, the ceramics display a blend of Egyptian and Greek styles, reflecting the cultural fusion during the Ptolemaic period. These items, varying from everyday storage and cooking uses to those in religious rituals or as luxury household items, offer a glimpse into the daily and ceremonial lives of its inhabitants.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization.
Statuary found at the site also speaks volumes about the cultural and religious life in Menouthis. Crafted from durable materials like granite and marble, these statues, often over 2 meters tall and weighing more than 500 kilograms, depicted deities and significant figures, suggesting their role in reinforcing a sense of divine presence or royal authority within public spaces or temples. Regarding why Menouthis ended up underwater, one compelling theory involves geological and climatic changes. The city was built on the geologically unstable Nile Delta, prone to subsidence, a gradual sinking of the land.
All that silt is then dumped in the Nile Delta, and constructions were made on top of it.
This subsidence, possibly exacerbated by the weight of the city's structures and the delta's soft, sedimentary soil, combined with sea level changes from climatic shifts or seismic events, might have led to the gradual inundation of Menouthis over the centuries. Menouthis, though not as expansive as Alexandria, was intricately laid out to support its population and their activities, suggesting it covered several square kilometers. With a network of streets, marketplaces, and residential areas, and its location along the coast, it likely also served as a minor port or trading post, facilitating trade between the Nile interior and the Mediterranean. This urban layout not only supported its role in commerce, but also its cultural and social structure, making it a bustling hub of activity in ancient times. Just as the city of Menouthis provided deep insights into ancient Greco-Egyptian culture, so too does the rediscovery of Canopus, located near the modern village of Abukir and close to the ancient city of Thonis Heracleion. Canopus, brought back to light by Frank Gaudio and his team, showcases the religious and architectural richness of ancient Egypt. Frank Gaudio's exploratory campaign revealed Canopus through advanced underwater archaeology techniques. Utilizing sophisticated sonar technology, magnetometers, and sub-bottom profilers, Gaudio's team successfully identified significant anomalies that matched the expected locations of architectural structures under the seabed. The initial surveys disclosed the outlines of temple complexes and other significant constructions, indicating the potential scale and importance of Canopus, which had been hidden beneath layers of sediment and marine growth. Among the most striking findings in Canopus were the expansive temple complexes and sanctuaries dedicated to Egyptian gods, particularly Osiris. The main temple structures were quite large, with some remains suggesting dimensions of over 50 meters in length and more than 20 meters wide. These vast areas were clearly designed to accommodate large numbers of pilgrims, highlighting their importance as major religious centers. The construction materials of these temples were primarily limestone and granite, with giant blocks weighing up to 10 tons each. These materials were not only selected for their durability, but also for their aesthetic qualities, vital for such culturally and religiously significant structures. Moreover, the temples featured intricate carvings and hieroglyphics that were both decorative and narrative, telling the stories and rituals associated with the deities worshipped within. The sanctuaries also yielded a wide array of artifacts that paint a vivid picture of the religious practices and daily life surrounding these structures. Numerous statues, mainly crafted from granite and basalt, have been recovered. These statues, which vary in size with some standing several meters tall and weighing hundreds of kilograms, often depict gods and goddesses and were intended as focal points of worship. Additionally, ritual objects such as ceremonial cups, incense burners, and offerings tables were found, crafted from materials like alabaster and bronze, which signify their sacred uses and the affluence of the temple complexes. Canopus was not only a significant site for the worship of Osiris, but also played a central role during the Mysteries of Osiris, an annual festival that drew devotees from across the region. This underscores the religious importance of the city. The art and architecture of Canopus reflect a blend of Greek and Egyptian influences, typical of the Hellenistic period in Egypt, evident in the hybrid designs of the temples and the iconography of the statuary. The reason Canopus found itself submerged is largely attributed to geological processes such as subsidence and rising sea levels over the millennia. Built on the unstable sediments of the Nile Delta, the city was vulnerable to the shifting land masses and the slow encroachment of the Mediterranean Sea, processes that gradually led to its submersion and preserved its relics beneath the sea.